Welcome back, nerds. All right, today I'm going to be going through, pretty much scene by scene, a breakdown of Season 3, Episode 6 of the Wheel of Time, which was so fun. Such a good, this season is so good. Okay, before we get into it, though, I do want to be clear, this video is pretty much drowning in spoilers. So, you haven't read the series, basically, here there be dragons. Kind of literally metaphorical dragons. So, just beware of spoilers. But before I get into it, I do just want to talk about my philosophy about the adaptation, just so you know going into it what this is. I've read these books, and I love these books a lot. But my philosophy about the adaptation is that different doesn't equal bad. The show can't be the books. It's not possible. So when changes happen, I'm not screaming, that's not canon. I'm asking, why this choice? What's the narrative endgame? Because the writers know how the story ends. They're just taking a different path to get there, sometimes. And I'm figuring out why, or at least I'm guessing why, and that's kind of half the fun for me. So yeah, we are going to be talking about boob, anthems, taint fondling, and more, so let's get into it.
Let's be nerdy with Let's Be Nerdy. Let's be nerdy with Let's Be Nerdy.
Okay, so the show is really out here making me feel things for Leandrin, of all people, which, like, from the books, it's like asking me to root for a cactus to hug me. But, damn, they're really doing it. We got this opening with a child Leandrin. Like, she looks like she's, 13? Holding a baby. Okay, this backstory is rough. Child bride, no help, just a parade of human garbage. And yeah, she goes Darkfriend, and I don't know. I love the fact that the villains here in the show, they're having layers. It's like a shitty onion, but bravo show for making me feel conflicted about a woman who'd probably stab me for a cup of tea. Child Leandrin, I think this might be her channeling for the first time. I don't know, but she's about to murder two dudes, one of whom is at least they're monsters. They're monsters. Whatever. One of them, they were about to drown her baby, and one of them's clearly the father, at least. And it's just cool. It's just your average Tuesday in Tanchico. It doesn't matter. They're both dead. Honestly, good for her. But the interesting part here is that she channels, I think, in anger. There's fear, but definitely anger there. Just like she taught Nynaeve last season. Use your rage, girl. Like Leandrin is kind of, being a life coach there. And, she's like, do as I say and as I did when I committed my first homicide. Although, justifiable homicide. It's dark, and it's messy, and it's brilliant character work. Also, it makes me want Leandrin's Guide to Unhealthy Coping Mechanisms spinoff. But, yeah, anyway, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more with a scene that comes later between Moraine and Rand, but pretty sure she's channeling in anger here. Tanchico! Everyone. The worst place to be a girl. Worse than the internet. Anyway, the streets are paved with misogyny, and the local delicacy is child brides. We got this child teenager carrying a baby covered in blood, begging for help, and the entire city's like, sorry, sweetie, have you tried not being born a girl? Ha! Say it for like the millionth time. The Wheel of Time is not a matriarchy. The books, they were never meant to be a matriarchy. Robert Jordan himself said it. The show is making this clear. Tanchico itself might as well just have a sign here. Horrible place to grow up. Female, enter at your own risk. So Leandrin falls asleep at the base of this giant statue because nothing says restful slumber like curling up under a monument to magical oppression. We learn later the name of the statue is the Shackled Man, and it's missing two parts. The two female channelers with the Idom bracelets. The symbolism here, pretty thick. This is where Leandrin takes her rest. Leandrin, who grows up to become a member of the, she grows up to be Black Aja, but also the Red Aja, whose, whole reason for being is to basically still, or gentle, I should say, male channelers. She's under a statue designed to attempt to control male channelers. But, okay, it's more than just, I thought this was a cool statue. I like that this is here. I like that we have these ruins that are in the show. This happens in the books, too. These hints to a deeper history without really explanation. Like, why are the female figures missing? How long has it been here? I don't actually want answers, but I love that the world feels lived in. Like in the books, the ruins and architecture whisper, hey, shit went down here. So Liandrin here wakes, I was going to say wakes up to Ishy in her dreams. No, Ishy's in her dreams. And we know it's a dream. Obviously, we saw her fall asleep, but also we get those jump cuts, which were kind of a hallmark of Ishy in dreams last season. And we saw some with Lanfear last episode, right? My book brain, I know when I was watching, it definitely started short-circuiting. And then I also got a little bit distracted when I was watching the episode the second time, because this is 95 years before, no, not before Rand's birth. It's 95 years ago, so it'd be like 75 years before Rand's birth. And this does kind of work, actually, because in the books, Ishy was never fully caged, and he'd break free every, like, millennia or so to stir shit up. So technically this tracks. He's not fully free, he's just dream hopping, like a creepy spectral influencer, I guess. In season 1, I should say, we saw him haunting Rand and Co's dreams, so I guess he's been haunting randos for a century, and hey, if you're gonna recruit a Darkfriend, start him young. In her dreams, Liandrin imagines herself on the Amerlin seat. Now, I'm assuming she's, like, using a dream terangreal here or something, and that she's in Tel'aran'rhiod because Lanfear is gonna show up in a second here. But I couldn't help but notice she's wearing the gold stole here with red underneath, and I just thought that was good costume storytelling, because if you compare it to Swan never wears blue, especially not in the hall. She sticks to gold, which is a neutral color. It's no Aja allegiance. We do see her wearing blue sometimes in her dreams, but yeah, for Swan, it's like I'm above factionalism, but Leandrin here, she's like, I'll take the throne, but I'm keeping the red Aja here too. And I still, like, this is my prediction. It makes me kind of excited for, in a bad way, Elaida's eventual reign, because I'm fairly certain she's going to strut in with red and gold, because I don't think Elaida would ever surrender her identity. Swan became the seat, and I feel like Elaida will wear it like an accessory. It's like fashion as storytelling and warfare. But okay, I do want to point something else out, because there's something a little spicy. When I was getting this clip, I noticed something lurking in the shadows. I'm going to move myself so you can see here. Look right over there. You saw that? Did you see that? Something moved here. And I didn't notice it while I was watching the episode, but when I was getting the clip, and you have things playing back in the ground, I brightened it and added the contrast, but that's someone. That is someone there. And I don't think that's an accident. Look how they move. They're moving softly from the shadows. 100% sure that is Moghedien doing her best creepy crawly impression before, Lanfear shows up. And the spider, she's not going to announce herself. She's going to slink in. She's going to watch. She's going to take notes. And this is brilliant. Lanfear's going to show up in monologue because drama. And Moghedien's already here, weaving her webs. Okay, let's talk about the absolute mess that is being a Darkfriend during the apocalypse. Because in the books, the Black Aja, and just Darkfriends in general, they're constantly getting yanked in different directions by different Forsaken. It's like, a group chat where everybody's giving conflicting orders and you're stuck in the middle going, cool. Which war crime? Which war crime do you want me to commit first? From this scene, it's clear that Lanfear told Leandrin to stay in the tower as long as possible, but she doesn't know, like, Leandrin's in Tanchico now, and Lanfear doesn't know why. And Leandrin's like, it's my hometown, but she doesn't mention the giant statue of a collared man, or the item, sketches. It's suspicious, clearly. So here's my theory. It's been my theory since this season finale of last season. I don't think Ishy's dead. And I'm pretty sure Leandrin is going to still be loyal to him, because she knew that she needed to get something from the 13th Depository, and I'm pretty sure that must have been Ishy's mission, because Lanfear wouldn't want Rand collared. Like, the only possibility is that she's playing 4D chess and trying to hide the domination band from everybody else, but honestly, that feels a little bit risky. Like, show Lanfear is smarter than to handle Liandrin, a woman who would absolutely slap a collar on Rand, given half the chance. She wouldn't give that job to Liandrin. Also, Lanfear straight up asks Liandrin if she's working for Robin, so even she knows that Darkfriends have divided loyalties, which honestly is one of the dumbest things the Forsaken do. They're all like, bow to me alone, but they also know Like, of course you're betraying me for someone else. Like, how do you expect loyalty when any other Forsaken could stroll in and vaporize your minions on a whim? It's offer them something, you narcissistic morons. Now let's talk about Moghedien, because nothing says ancient, terrifying, monster from legend, Forsaken servant of the concept of evil, like spitting in someone's food. It's so petty. It's juvenile, and it works for this interpretation of Moghedien, because in the books, Moghedien is pretending to be a servant in Tanchico. She's lurking in the shadows. She's gathering intel. I can actually see her doing this, because she definitely thinks that she's, like, all of the Black Aja are beneath her, so she could be seasoning their meals with spite. It's not, like, laid out right in the books, but the vibe works. And hey, if you're gonna be evil, why not add a little flavor to your villainy? Sorry. It's, ew. So let's geek out about this sketch of the shackled man statue, because, okay, we've got some architectural trauma here. This statue, older than Tanchico itself, which means that we're talking centuries, maybe even millennia of people walking past this thing going, yep, that tracks, with their, morning tea. Now, book fans, we recognize this as the Domination Band, the Age of Legends worst group project. The rules in the books are kind of messed up, but they track. You need 2 Aes Sedai to control 1 male channeler. No, you can actually have one Aes Sedai or 1 female channeler to control the male channeler, but you could have 2 to share it between them, because what starts happening is the Tate of Sidene starts basically flowing into the women, and the more you use it, the power starts to flip, and the madman who they're attempting to control starts to gain control, and so you've suddenly got a permanent crazy boyfriend situation, and it's bad. Would the show keep these rules? I don't know, but I love that they're teasing this horrifying relic of a bygone era that somehow got turned into public art. And we got Moggy casually playing background servant here while the Black Aja discusses their evil plans, like she's not even there. This, to me, tracks. It feels like peak Moghedien behavior. The whole spider aesthetic isn't just for show. Either these sisters are dark friends who just accept her presence, which is likely, like in the books, I believe the house they're staying in is just a house of dark friends, including the servants. But there's also the possibility that she's using her compulsion to kind of make herself invisible to their brains. So both of these work, and they could actually be working in conjunction with each other. And yeah, this kind of like mirrors the way it is in the books, where she constantly will come into rooms and then get kicked out and then wander back in like a cat who's just decided your meeting is her new nap spot. Now we come to my girl, and I like this whole Tanchico crew, but okay, it's Nynaeve and Elayne playing Guess Who with the Black Aja, and this is book accurate. And I'm gonna tell you just a note, as someone who has read these books approximately a bajillion times, I could not tell you anything distinguishing about any of the Black Aja except, like, one of them has a white streak in her hair, one of them likes cats, and one of them hates cats. But I couldn't tell you which one is which. And I'm going to shout out my friend Shansine, who actually memorized the names of all the Black Aja sisters and all of their details, because she thought it would one day be important to know when she was reading the books for the first time. Myself, the only Black Aja sister I would be able to pick out of a lineup in the books is Liandrin. Now, she's got the honey braids, the rosebud mouth, and that, like, oops, my peasant accent vibe thing. The rest of them might as well be wearing name tags that say, hello, my name is Evil Aes Sedai, number 3. In the show, they seem to have a bit more, maybe it's just the medium, but I'm able to distinguish them more. I doubt, like, in the show, I'm just going to be like, oh, going Liandrin, not Liandrin 1, not Liandrin 2, which is basically what I'm doing in the books. This moment where Matt and Min come in and they're cackling at Nynaeve and Elaine's Tanchico outfits, it's sibling energy, and I don't know why. It's just these little breaks. I know why, I guess, it's because I love these characters, but these little breaks where we see them just being people, like, laughing, judging each other's fashion choices, I love these moments. And I just got to call out the audacity of Matt, who is wearing what he's wearing, and then he's laughing at Nynaeve and Elayne, who, I'm sorry, it cracked me up. And I just love this crew. It's like this found family vibe. I love it. So the beads on your veil, the number of beads on your veil determine your price. Okay, Tanchico. But this just made me laugh, because they're like, oh, Nynaeve, you can't take that one. It has all those beads. You that's determined. You must think really highly of yourself. And then Matt takes the one with all the beads, and that's the one that he wears. So, okay. He's like, yeah, translation. I am worth at least 50 gold marks. Thank you very much. This man's self-esteem unmatched. And honestly, respect. If you're going to survive the end times, you might as well look expensive doing it. Yeah, big reveal here. Egwene breaking the rules. Shocking. I know. In book canon, this is classic Egwene. They're like, don't go into Tel'aran'rhiod alone, and she's immediately goes into Tel'aran'rhiod alone. But this is interesting because in the books, this reveal doesn't happen until later, and then there's two wise ones, well, three, but it's Amice and Bear, and they've been merged into one character, but one of them basically stops teaching her after this because that's what she'd said. In the show, they're not cutting her off, probably because we only have Bear, and we still need people to be training Egwene. So, yeah, she also reveals that she's not Aes Sedai, and so I guess we're going to skip the major beating that Egwene takes later on to relieve her toe, which, fine. I'm okay with just removing a lot of the corporal punishment from the books, although I will say that is one of the instances where I don't get creeped out by it, whereas the rest of them, I'm always side-eyeing Robert Jordan, being like, what's with all the spanking, Robert Jordan? Okay. And this, again, that reveal, though, also happens way earlier. I'm pretty sure that doesn't happen until book 6. So, yeah. I'm a little curious as to how the Aes Sedai haven't put that together. I know, like, basically the consensus is that people outside of the tower don't know. But she's traveling with Moraine, and they both have the ring, and Moraine's has a big honking stone on it. So unless they think that Egwene lost her stone, like, it seems to me that even if you don't know about the tower, the visual distinctions in the rings would make some distinction between them fairly obvious. Okay, this framing destroyed me. Moraine's sleeping on one side of the bed, arms stretched out, like she's still making space for someone. Like, that's where Swan should be, and now I'm sad. Their relationship, to me, is like the emotional heart of the show. But, okay, let me cling to my new favorite theory. A shout out to people in the comments, although I think I heard this theory last season too, maybe, by someone in the comments. Like, it wasn't a new theory when people were saying it in the comments, that Swan might replace Thom or Noel, the Farstrider, in the mission to rescue Moraine later. Like, imagine Swan, like, storming into the Tower of Genji. That's my wife! I need it. I don't even know if we're getting the Tower of Genji, and based on stuff that we saw in Moraine's turnings in the rings, I'm not sure what we're doing here, but yeah, I like that theory. The other thing I'm going to note, though, here, Moraine is back in blue. It's her purpose color. After the Rings of Viridian, I feel like she's started putting on the blue again. It's like she's reclaiming her drive. And then Lanfear pops into her dream and accuses Moraine of hiding from her? How? This is, where things get a bit mushy as far as the magic system is concerned for the show, because in the books, Aes Sedai, like Moraine specifically, can shield her dreams, but we've seen zero indication in the show that Moraine knows how to do that. So either she does know in the show, in which case, why not now? Or Lanfear's just being dramatic? Which, I mean, okay, that also tracks. Or I guess Moraine's been avoiding sleep? I don't know. What do you think? So Lanfear here confirms that it was Moraine's job to keep Egwene away from Rand, and I called that. Remember that scene, like whatever episode it was, where she's basically trying to scare Egwene about male channelers going mad, and then immediately is like, Rand, you have to channel. It's, Aes Sedai maneuvering. And she, she wasn't lying to Rand, but I felt like that was her attempting to put a rift between them. And at the time, I was like, it's because she wants to go in there. But, I mean, I could see these being, like, motivations. And she did kind of succeed, by going to the waste. I mean, it wasn't her idea, but getting to the waste, she did kind of accidentally separate them a little bit. She can claim using Aes Sedai word trickery that it was totally intentional, while, Egwene literally just does the opposite of what everyone tells her to do. I do love the lines, speaking of that, where Moraine says, Egwene won't budge if forced. That's Two Rivers' stubbornness in action, and I love it. These kids are stubborn to a fault. I'm just going to talk about something I've also seen a lot of discussion, like not just in my comments, but a lot of places, where people are very upset about these two working together. And this is not book canon. Like, this is very, very different. But it tracks to me, because in the same way that last season we saw Ishy break out Lanfear, but none of the other Forsaken until, like, after Lanfear betrayed him. He initially broke out Lanfear. It was an uneasy alliance because him and Lanfear have similar goals. I mean, not similar, but they're the closest aligned, because Ishy wants to turn the dragon. He wants to turn the dragon because he thinks that's the only way the Dark One can win, and then that will end existence. Lanfear wants to do the dragon. She wants to be with the dragon. She's in love with him. So she's one of the only other Forsaken that Ishy can trust to not just kill him, because she doesn't want him dead. So, yeah, this is the same thing, where I think Moghedien knows that Lanfear doesn't want Rand dead, so she can trust her to make sure that Rand won't die. But they have, much like Ishy and Lanfear, they have disparate goals, and at a certain point they are going to betray one another. I'm assuming that the betrayal will go this way, not that way. But yeah, so that's how I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it as a similar alliance that happened last season. Of course, the alliance that happened last season was an alliance between pretty much equals. This is not. Okay, so we got a big power dynamic going on here. And this makes me very nervous, because Moghedien knows Lanfear, as she says here, is sending a little surprise. And I am waiting for this axe to drop. Like, I'm nervous about it, but I'm waiting for it. This whole collaboration thing she's got going on with Lanfear, somebody's going to find out. And right now, the person I think it'll hurt the most, like, isn't Rand. It's Egwene. Because Rand's been, flirting with Lanfear this whole time. He knows that Lanfear doesn't want to kill him. That's why Moghedien was willing to send him into the dream last season. He might actually understand Moraine's motivation, even if he'd be pissed, later on, especially after what he learns later on in this episode. But Egwene, all Egwene knows is Lanfear's been torturing her in her dreams. And if she finds out that Moraine's been working with her, that's going to burn. And yeah, this precious, adorable child, with every second she was on screen being cute and having lines, my dread was growing. Like, I knew what was coming. Book readers knew what was coming. That child from the Shadow Rising, the one whose death results in zombie puppet. But that was a child that we'd never met. It was a body. This is a child that we've met them. She's real. She's not just some random dead body in the background. The show is playing dirty, making us care. It hurts. And at the end of just watching Rand with this doomed little girl, for me, this dynamic that Rand and Avi have in the show, for me personally, and I recognize that this is just a personal thing, I am enjoying this better in the books. Because in the books, their whole, like, I hate you, but I'm secretly into you, which, like, it's a personal taste thing, I know, but I don't like it. I can't stand it. It's the whole, like, fighty, fighty, fight, kiss, kiss, kiss trope. It's nails on a chalkboard for me. Although, okay, weird exception. If they're actually, like, physically fighting, then the fighty, fighty, fight, kiss, kiss, kiss trope works for me. But if it's just, I hate you, it's like, if they just act like they don't like each other, and then it turns out that they do, that's just not a trope I personally enjoy. Like, it's, I guess that's enemies to lovers is what it's called. It's not my favorite. Like, it's, that's putting it mildly. It's not even not my favorite. It's my least favorite. Like, I hate it. It's also one of the reasons why a later romance, well, it's one of the many reasons, but Swan and Gareth Bryn drive me crazy for that same reason. I don't like it. I don't like it as a trope. But whatever. Here in the show, Avienda's got an attitude. Yeah, she feels that she's, superior in this because she understands IO culture, and he doesn't. But it's not performative hatred. It's, I'm judging you, but I don't loathe you, and I can work with that. Okay, so we are bringing Perrin straight from the White Cloak Rescue to the Wine Spring Inn. And yeah, that made me go, okay, so I guess we're skipping the Tuathon in the Two Rivers this season. Because in the books, after the White Cloak camp, Perrin gets injured fighting, I think, Trollocs in the woods, not by White Cloaks. And then they stumble into, maybe they've already done it, whatever. They find the Tuathon group from book 1, and they patch him up. And then that's where he has his crucial heart-to-heart with Faile about violence and Wolf Brothers and whatever and all of that stuff. So I get this, like, we need to streamline things, but I'm just going to say for myself, if we're skipping the Tuathon, this feels like a bit of a missed opportunity, because the Tuathon connection, I feel like it would have been perfect, especially after episode 4's big reveal about their shared history with the Aiel. So right now, the whole thing that's happening in the Two Rivers, to me, feels weirdly isolated from everything else. I know Alana's here, and of course Perrin, whatever, but it feels so disparate from the other stories that are happening. Like we've got the Tower, we've got Tanchico, we've got the Aiel Waste. Those feel like they weave together really well, whereas this feels just like he just went home to go home, and there was stuff happening there, but it doesn't feel connected to anything else. But I feel like adding the Tuathon into it would have maybe made it feel more connected to the other storylines. Again, especially because viewers now know that the Tuathon are just branches from the same tree as the Aiel. I don't know. This might just be me. I'm just trying to figure out what it is about the storyline that's feeling a little... I don't know what's going on. It's just kind of there. Like, Perrin's off in his own little spin-off while everyone else is dealing with the apocalypse. That's what it feels like. Maybe that's what it is. So last episode, Alana took a bunch of arrows, basically was a human pincushion, and, but she was talking and walking and whatever. I'm pretty sure that was thanks to good old adrenaline. But here she looks like she's death warmed over, which actually, to me, personally, super realistic. I've 100% had that, like, during moments of stress. Oh, I'm fine. And then the second I relax, my body's like, okay, I'm dying. So that this tracks completely. What's interesting to me, what's wild, is I am more invested in Alana and Maxim's story than Perrin's, which feels really weird to say out loud. I don't know. Maybe it's because this dynamic has more immediate tension, or maybe it's because Perrin's story just does feel so disconnected. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what it is that's going on here. Like, in me, in the way that I'm receiving this story. I mean, I understand what's going on with the story, but I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out why. Okay, so, was talking about how disconnected and how I wasn't really engaging with, so far, the Two Rivers thing. Fully engaged once this interaction started. And Faile hits Perrin with that line that's straight from the book. So you can either take care of the living or weep for the dead. That is Davram Bashir's wisdom filtered through his daughter, and it's exactly what Perrin needs to hear right now. And let's talk about the Perrin-Faile dynamic. It's working. I was already invested from the books, but the show, I feel like, is selling this relationship in a way that I'm hoping even new viewers have to be feeling, right? Like, this episode, I went from being like, about Perrin's White Cloak rescue mission to fully engaged the second these two started sharing screen time, and that's some good character chemistry. Heard him before I saw him. That whistle that's been Pat and Fane's creepy calling cards in season 1. I love that the show is keeping this auditory signature, although, I know it happened in season 1. I don't remember if it happened in season 2. But yeah, here he's got some dark friends and a couple of Trollocs, and he's not yet in his White Cloak disguise. Knife throwing in the episode where Thom returns. Mwah! Chef's kiss. This feels like just a nod to book 5 where Thom and Nynaeve do their circus act together, which I have so many thoughts about that, but these little subtle book-to-show parallels, they kind of make me giddy as a longtime book fan. I don't know if we're going to get the circus adventures or if this is just a fun little Easter egg, but either way, good on ya. And I do love this, like, they've got Elayne obviously having practiced accents again. She's got, she speaks like a true Terraboner, and it's the same accent that Leandrin was using in her flashbacks and when she met the Lunolts in episode 3, I believe. This kind of consistency in the world building is exactly what makes it feel lived in. It's not just about big magic systems. It's about accents and cultural quirks and costumes and whatever. These touches that show that the writers get this world. It's, more please. This entire exchange to me felt so Matt. It was like peak Matt Cawthon. He is flirting with this hottie here to suss out about the IDOM, the bracelets and the collar. And he's like, laying on the big, strong man like me charm. And then I had the thought, like, is that him trying his best smile? Because book fans will remember Matt constantly thinking, I'm going to use my best smile on her, which never, ever worked. But, here he's just deploying it on this dude while hunting for world-ending magical artifacts. It just, y'all, I heard Thom's voice in the background and I immediately lost my mind. I knew he was coming back this season, and yet somehow I wasn't actively looking for him, which made this reveal so good. I don't think I'd actually even made any predictions about where he showed up, which, like, shame on me, I guess. But the second I heard his, like, raspy singing, I was like, Thom's back, baby! And he's singing! And the party can start! And what is Thom singing? He's singing The Great Hunt, or what do they call it in the books? I can't remember what they call it, but it's a legendary story or tale that he recites constantly in the books, although we never actually hear it. In the books, I think he prefers to deliver it in high chant, but people keep asking for it in common, which might be more spoken than sung. I don't know. But show Thom gets to sing it out, and I'm here for it. This just, it makes me so happy. The songs make me so happy. And look at Thom here, serving full book-accurate gleaming cloak realness with that, like, colorful patch-covered cloak. Last season, season 1, because he wasn't even in last season, we saw that the colors were hidden on the inside of his coat, which honestly I liked, because I thought it was smart. Like, sometimes you want to dazzle the crowd, and sometimes you want to sneak through a bar without looking like a walking target. But this is much more book accurate. He is on display. But the other thing I want you to focus on is Thom's hat. That wide brim Robert Jordan core hat. 2 thoughts? Matt needs that hat. Book fans know Matt eventually gets a signature hat. It's purchased from a peddler in the waste, but since we're not there, this hat could be the one. And the other thing I noted, pretty sure it's a dead ringer for the hat that RJ himself wore. I should have gotten one queued up in the video. I'm going to find one now and show it to see if I'm right. So that is a famous picture of Robert Jordan, and he's wearing his hat. I do think that looks like the hat that Thom is wearing, which I'm pretty sure is the model for the hat that eventually Matt wears. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that is Matt's hat on Thom's head. I couldn't help but note Thom is not limping here. In the books, after his fight with the Fade, in Whitebridge, I believe he is permanently injured, like, for the rest of the story. So yeah, in the books, he survives the Fade encounter only because the Fade didn't care about him at all. He was after Rand and Matt, and Thom was just collateral. He just literally just knocks him out of the way. And later, Matt reunites with him in Tar Valon, where Thom is drowning in his grief in booze after his girlfriend, Dina, who was a Gleeman's apprentice, like his apprentice that he was madly in love with, is murdered. And then they team up to rescue Elayne, partly because Thom was once Morghase's lover. There's a lot of lore here. Morghase's lover when Elayne was a child. So show Thom, we don't seem to have that limp. We do get later on that he was in Morghase's court. So yeah, I'm liking this. I just couldn't help but note he's not limping. This moment where Nynaeve gets immediately defensive when Min asks about Matt's memories, it just felt like peak Nynaeve Almira. This woman will literally take a dagger for her people and then, like, yell at them for making her bleed. But book fans will remember when Moraine first came to the Two Rivers in the books, trying to identify, like, who the Dragon Reborn was. The one clue that she was missing that would have helped her figure it out was that Rand wasn't actually born in the Two Rivers. And Nynaeve knew this, but wouldn't say a word. And then Nynaeve's deadpan delivery of "that's just my face" when Min calls her out for scowling. It's perfection. Nynaeve, in my opinion, is the funniest character in the series. Her humor isn't usually trying to joke. It's her just being her glorious, prickly self. Like, the books are full of these moments where she's just existing, and people are like, "Why are you so angry?" And she's like, "I'm breathing." And the show is nailing this, I feel like. This perfect blend of defensive, confused, and unintentionally hilarious. I love it. Can we also talk about Kai Alexander's chemistry with, like, everyone? I adored her dynamic, and this season as well, but her dynamic with Matt last season, which was a complete surprise to me. And now she's, like, sparkling with Nynaeve too. This cast, they're fire together. They really, really work. I went in expecting to love the Elayne Nynaeve dynamic, because their friendship in the books is, like, one of my favorites. And Matt and Min was a delightful surprise. this is also a surprise. Like, Min is becoming this connective tissue between all these characters, and I'm here for it. Sorry, just side note, is there any pairing in this cast that doesn't work? I'm struggling to think of one. These actors just all seem to click in every combination. It's the casting department. They deserve all the awards. I've said it before, but let me say it again for the people in the back. Min's superpower sucks. Imagine seeing glimpses of the future that will happen, no matter what, with no control over when they come or what they show you. It's like having unavoidable Twitter notifications for fate itself. It's mostly useless and occasionally traumatizing. Now, in this scene, actually, her visions do end up being helpful, where she spots clues about the Black Ajah's location, but that doesn't change the fundamental helplessness of her ability. And I'm finding it brilliant and, to be honest, kind of satisfying, because I've always thought this, that the show's take on this is to lean into that frustration, making it a defining part of Min's character and motivation in a way that the books only occasionally kind of touched on. This is why I love Show Min. She's not just the girl who sees things. She's a woman wrestling with a gift that feels more like a cosmic joke, and it's making her more interesting. But while we're talking about Min's visions, can we talk about her complete inability to hide when she's having a vision? I know. People explain to me in the comments that her very obvious reaction to her vision about Matt is because she cares about him. But here, she's showing the same dramatic pause for someone she's never met. Like, I get it. We, the audience who is watching this television show that is not reality, we need these visual cues. But it does make me wonder how she ever spied for Swan in the tower. Like, just picturing Min wandering the halls in her servant's disguise, suddenly freezing like a glitching NPC every time a vision hits. I do have to give Min her props, though. She sees a Black Ajah sister in her vision. Cool. Realizing the guy in front of her is connected to that sister. Cooler. And then immediately spinning that into a con to trick him into revealing the Black Ajah sister's location. Genius. Well done. Leandrin asking Naomi here about memory erasing weaves, I thought this is very good, clever writing. It's a good setup. Because Naomi's like, sorry, we don't do Age of Legends magic here. And that's the show subtly reminding us of how far the One Power and our knowledge of the One Power has fallen. We've also seen it, though. We saw Raven's full compulsion on Morghese and everyone around him. And then later this episode, we're going to see Maugie's sort of brain-melting skills. These are ancient techniques, whereas Naomi's over here with, like, the magical equivalent of duct tape and prayer. And we needed this reminder in this episode that there is going to be a difference between what the Forsaken can do and what the Aes Sedai from this era can do. All right, my headcanon. Moggy must be using compulsion so nobody notices her black fingertips, because that would have to raise some eyebrows at some point, right? Like that why does the maid look like she's dipped her fingers in ink? But okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about was just the deep cut Easter egg that we see here of this Aes Sedai in the corner holding a cat. A cat. So yeah, there she is. I said I don't remember which Black Ajah sister is which, except for Leandrin. And it's true. I don't remember them at all. In the show, they are having a bit more distinction, but I don't remember them at all. But in the books, what I do remember, couldn't tell you which one, but one of the Black Ajah sisters loves cats and keeps adopting stray cats, like where they travel around. And then the funny part, the disturbingly funny part, is that another one of her Black Ajah sisters hates cats. Oh no, it's not that she hates cats, she just loves torturing. And so she just keeps killing her cats. And so the one who's adopting the cats doesn't realize that one of her, sisters keeps killing her cats. Lanfear called it. Moggy is bonkers. Until this, she was just eccentric. But now she's been sticking her fingers in people's mouths and she's chewing food and spitting it out. And I don't even know what she's ripping somebody's underwear with her teeth. I don't know what's going on. This isn't just spite. It is deranged joys. I'm not showing what she does here with that food that's in her mouth, but you watch the episode if you're watching this. And she is loving that these dark friends, these so-called Aes Sedai, in her opinion, are literally eating her literal spit. It's gross. But there's just so much contempt in there. There's malicious glee. It is a complete lack of basic hygiene. It is disgusting. And it's perfect. Like, Moggy isn't just evil. She's theater kid evil. She's dramatic evil. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Get more dream training. Last week, Egwene was pulling off kind of wild feats in Tel'aran'rhiod that, are things that veteran dreamwalkers learn, like jumping from dream to dream. It was very, very Egwene, but okay. I appreciate that we're getting more dream training here, because it's going to make her dreamwalking skills feel grounded. Like, it's going to make them feel earned, basically. I thought that was all we were going to get, and this makes me happy here. So I want your opinions on this. Who is it that yeeted Bear and Elayne out of Egwene's dream? Because when I first watched this, I immediately thought Egwene did it. She looks really proud afterwards, but then she gets pulled out of the dream too. And later on, they say she pushed us out. We couldn't get back in. So in this moment, I want to know your thoughts. Did Egwene push them out and then Lanfear immediately hijacked the dream? Or was Lanfear lurking the whole time and she's the one who pushed them out? Okay, this isn't really important, but I couldn't help but notice the attention to detail here. Egwene has a cute little bob. In this dream that Lanfear has created, she's got long hair. This is not an accident. Lanfear is recreating her existence as a Damane perfectly. It is matching Egwene's trauma as much as she possibly can. The other thing I'm just going to say, just to get... Lanfear is objectively hot, and the show is a bit subtle about it, which... we all, I'm sure, had an inappropriate thought here, right? Like, we all had that moment. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just me. We all did, right? Please tell me it wasn't just me. This is the Dark One's real power is making us question our standards and morality in the face of this level of hotness. Lanfear doesn't technically lie at first. Rand does know who and what she is, but Egwene immediately clocks that Rand has no idea about the torture, and that is what cracks Lanfear's perfect facade. It reminded me of that scene from last season where her and Rand are like in their sexy times, and then Rand says the wrong thing and her eyes go full psycho for half a second. There must have been, I don't know, were there special effects in that scene? Because something went weird with her eyes in that second. But here, it's just pure acting. There's no special effects needed. It's just like a fraction of a second here of, I will end you, before she slaps the mask back on. And then, of course, she lies and says Rand knows everything, but the damage is done. Egwene has seen her soft underbelly, her weak spot. We've seen it. We've seen her basically lose control. She's a woman who will choke people and pop their heads when she's mildly inconvenienced. So here it is. Okay, the pin drops, literally, and then Elayne says here she threw us out, but this is why I'm not sure. Who is she? Again, Egwene pushed them out and then Lanfear hijacked the dream, or Lanfear was lurking and then let Egwene think that she succeeded and then yoinked her into a nightmare. I don't know. I will say, though, I am enjoying the pin as a recurring motif. Moraine just casually holding the most powerful female sangreal in existence like a fidget spinner. Ma'am! Sorry. Rand has seen that thing in the columns. All of the clan chiefs and the wise ones have seen it. It's literally a, hey, look at me, kill me first, beacon. Okay, Moraine, I love you, but hide your loot better. So apparently Moraine has been giving Rand the silent treatment post-Druidian, and Rand calls her on it. You haven't spoken to me since the rings, and her deadpan, I've been listening. It made me laugh, because obviously this is a callback to the whole thing with Lan, where she was like, why are you training with Lan? And he's like, he listens. I love these characters together. The show is nailing these interactions between people. We've got Moraine's dry wit and Rand's exasperated but amused, like, seriously. It's so good. It's mentor-mentee chemistry, even when they're driving each other crazy. It's a tiny moment, but it lands, to me, anyway. It feels like two people who've been through hell together, snarking their way through the apocalypse. Then, bam, like this tonal whiplash from funny to existential dread in seconds. Like Rand's questions about the rings. Do I go mad? Sometimes. Do I kill Egwene? Sometimes. Do I kill you? Sometimes. The brilliance of this was its simplicity. There was no grand speeches, no melodrama, just sometimes. It carries the weight of 1,000 possible futures. And then Rand's thought of, like, I thought we'd know more, not less. That's kind of the core of his arc right now. This terrifying realization that knowledge doesn't equal control. Okay, buckle up, because this is the part of the episode that made me vibrate with excitement. Okay, this moment taps directly into my personal favorite Wheel of Time pet theory. I wrote a whole ass article about it, gender essentialism in the Wheel of Time. If I remember, I'll link it in the description, but you can literally just Google gender essentialism in the Wheel of Time and you'll find my article. Here's the gist. The books, men and women constantly whine about how, like, unknowable the other gender is, and like, oh, men are like this and women like that, and we'll never understand each other. The magic system, Saidar and Saidin, are literally invisible to each other. The universe itself screams, men and women are fundamentally alien. When I was reading the books, I started to think that this was one of the points that the books had. I had this hope, but also just a belief. I thought this was what we were going for, that the story was building towards a revelation, that this binary was bullshit, that Nynaeve's weird as hell channeling, anger-fueled, defiant, not surrendering, was proof. Maybe women don't have to surrender. Maybe men don't have to dominate. Maybe the rules are just cultural baggage piled onto the one power. But no, the books never went there. And I mean, personally, this bummed me out a little bit, because the gender essentialism that was baked into it, the idea that men and women have immutable and opposite traits, it's philosophically bankrupt. Like, there's no trait that applies to every man or every woman, and yet the Wheel of Time's magic system baked that idea into the cosmos. So this, to me, it felt like it was tapping into that. Rand's line, it's called the one power. If it all comes from the same source, why should the halves be so rigidly divided? And then he tells Moraine, don't surrender. When he tells her this, I felt it. Like, what if surrendering isn't the only way? What if the show is finally like prying open that door? The other thing that's notable in this scene is that Moraine is coming to Rand for advice. And last episode, we saw her coming to Egwene for help. This is new. And I like it. Like, the rings, I feel like, broke her certainty. It didn't make her weaker, but it's making her feel and seem more human. And I feel like, I don't know exactly, but it's rhyming in a weird way with something that happens in The Fires of Heaven, Book 5. Which I'm going to say is something that always rubbed me wrong, where she surrenders to Rand. Basically, she starts interacting with him differently, and I think she vows to, promises to obey him, to the point where, like, one time he literally kicks her out of the room for having a bad attitude, and she has to go and wait until she calms down before she comes back in the room, because he ordered her to and she promised to do what he said. And the reason that she does it, like, Egwene asks her, we are meant to make this connection. Egwene asked her why she's obeying Rand, and she says, I remembered how to control Saidar. And in the books, Saidar is controlled by surrendering to it. So the very, very clear parallel we were supposed to make there is that she has learned that in order to control things, she has to surrender. You have to surrender to power to control it. This feels like it rhymes with that in a way that doesn't feel as frustrating to me, because she is coming to him for advice. So she is doing that thing where she's not seeing herself above him anymore, but it's not couched in these weird gender stereotypes. I will say, though, I always feel like I need to say this when I talk about this. I love these books. I really do. The fact that I can critique them this hard and still adore them, to me, is a testament to Robert Jordan's genius. And I feel like the show in this way is sanding down some of the rougher edges. You know, we're keeping, I guess, the gender divide. I'm hoping that there's room, that it won't be quite so solid a binary in the show. But okay, it is a plot point. We are keeping it, but because it is a plot point. But we're not endorsing the gender essentialism philosophy. So Rand out here causing mini earthquakes, like he's a giant angry toddler stomping on the ground. This, to me, I'm pretty sure this is a book 3 Dragon Reborn callback where he keeps accidentally flexing his one power muscles because he literally can't stop himself. And I'm pretty sure the show is going for it. And it's written in the text, so I don't, this isn't something new for the show, but they're wanting it to seem like it's an addiction. And that, like I said, I'm pretty sure that is written into the text of the books, this feeling that the one power is an addiction. I will say, just this is my own personal thing, so take this with, as many grains of salt as you need. That always, to me, felt a bit more a bit reductive to call the one power an addiction. Because, you're usually, like, if we use the word addiction, we're usually talking about something harmful, like drugs or gambling or whatever. And, okay, I do know Sidene is harmful for men who channel, but that's not baked into it. That's something that the Dark One did, and it's not harmful to women unless they take too much of it, whatever. But the way I always felt like it felt more to me like is that the one power and the ability to use it, it's a sense, or it's whatever. Like, imagine you have like an extra finger on your hand, and then you're just told never use that finger. Like, you wake up with a 6th finger, like, or an extra opposable thumb or something, and you're told you never use it. That would be weird, right? Like, to never use something that you have. For me, channeling wasn't just like I crave this high. It was not using it feels like I'm cutting out a part of me. Like, it's not just about wanting the one power. It's missing it when it's gone. It's like trying to breathe with one lung. I don't know. When Ren hears like I can't stop reaching for it, I don't hear an addict. I hear someone being told to pretend that one of their limbs doesn't exist. So in the books, this conversation, like, it's pretty much this conversation, I'm pretty sure happens in Tuatha on Wagon, while Perrin is recovering, much like here, I suppose, from an injury. So yes, there's a difference here, though. I'm not sure of, like, where the show is going to go with Faile's backstory, but in the books, I think this is when Faile tells Perrin who her father is. Like, he finally asks who her father is, because she keeps saying things about her father which don't make sense, because she doesn't want him to know that she's a royal. I can't remember exactly what her status is, because she's not, like, next in line to the throne, but she's definitely, like, of royal blood. So, yeah, here she says, though, I'm from a military family, which is true in the books. A little vague, a little sus, but I think she's still hiding her royal blood. And I think that they kind of have to for the show, because we haven't had any build-up. Like, if she were to say, oh, by the way, I'm nobility, Perrin would be like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, it wouldn't land as a surprise. So I think we're going to save that for a bigger moment. All right, so let's pour one out for Book Dira Bashir, Faile's mother. She is definitely not a dark friend in the books. Show Dira, though, apparently she is fully on Team Dark Lord. The change here, of course, Faile reveals her mom tried to recruit her to the Shadow, leading to her brother's death and her fleeing Saldea, joining the hunt for the Horn. I'm okay with this change. First of all, Dira is not a major character. Like, she's not. She's just not. But I feel like this works because it makes the world itself feel more dangerous when even your mom could be a secret Forsaken groupie. The other reason why, and the main reason why, like, this is the biggest reason I think this works, is that it parallels Perrin. Both Perrin and Faile feel guilt for a loved one's death. Faile's brother, Perrin's wife, and now they are trauma bonding over, I didn't mean to get them killed, but here we are. Book Faile is fierce. Show Faile is fierce with baggage, and I'm okay with it. And I know that book purists are going to be crying, but Dira was a badass, and she fought alongside Davram, and yes, she was, but be honest, how much do you actually care about Dira Bashir outside of Faile's cool mom? Cool. Like, if you ask me to list 50 Wheel of Time characters, I doubt Dira Bashir would even make it on the list. This scene for me worked so well because I thought it was a brilliant workaround for a book moment we can't really get. Like, I don't think they could kill Perrin's family, entire family, after having him accidentally kill his wife in the very first episode. It's too much tragedy. But yes, in the books, Perrin arrives to the Two Rivers. He's come to the Two Rivers in order to turn himself over to the White Cloaks to stop them from harming his family. And when he arrives, he finds out his whole family is dead already. He's too late, basically. And in the books, then, when he's trying to be all stoic, whatever, Faile comes in and tells him to stop that and just grieve and be a human being. And it's a moment where she, like most people I know, it's a moment where people forgive her for some of the annoying things that she'd done previously. In the show, we have Layla's death, so, you know, R.I.P. Layla, but we get a different, but I feel like an equal version where Faile tells Perrin, like, honor her as a warrior. Don't dishonor her by drowning yourself in guilt. Like, your grief isn't a weakness, but living in it forever, that's not survival. And it lands, like, it works. Because, you know, Perrin is understandably guilty. He didn't just lose Layla, he killed her, like, accidentally, but try telling that to his PTSD. And Faile's giving him permission here to stop self-flagellating. She's not just his feisty love interest, she's his anchor. And the show is finding a way, because, again, we have these truncated storylines to fast-track their emotional intimacy to make up for lost time. It's not the same as the book scene, obviously, but it rhymes in a way that works really well for me. And I admit it, I am all in on show Perrin and Faile. Like, yes, these two have chemistry, they smolder, it works, and there's emotional honesty so far, none of that toxic book nonsense, like no slapping and whatever. We're getting actual vulnerability, we're getting Perrin's guilt, Faile's trauma, and both of them choosing to lean on each other. I like that. Their romance in the books is messy, and sometimes it's downright abusive, but it's also, I've said this before, it's the only one that makes me cry, like multiple times. And I'm hoping that we're going to get the same emotional payoff from them here without the toxicity, because it's just not fun. It's not fun to read, and definitely wouldn't be fun to watch. Dane is alive. And by alive, I guess I mean disheveled, wine-soaked mess, which, okay, honestly, book accurate. He's got this stained off-white, what is it, like a tunic? I don't know, it's not a cloak. It's just his I gave up on my life undershirt, I guess. And I'm pretty sure that as a white cloak, you know, you have to, like, iron your underwear or whatever. The fact that he's out here looking like he slept in a ditch, he is unraveling. In the books, this is very accurate. Like, he starts to drown himself in alcohol in the two rivers. So we are already halfway to rock bottom. We're here. The other question I have, why is Natty's body still up? Like, we burned her at the stake, but taking her body down, it's too much work? Like, I don't know. It's just so weird. They have servants, they have child servants, but I wouldn't want the child servants to do this, so I guess. I don't know. Why is she still there, though? All right, so let's talk about Padan Fain, because I'm not sure what the show is doing with him. So we've got Padan Fain and his Darkfriend posse. They're coming up in their blood-soaked white cloak uniforms. My assumption is that they slaughtered the real White Cloak reinforcements and stole their uniforms, which is, you know, classic. In the books, this is a bit different. In the books, Fain infiltrates the White Cloaks by manipulating Pedron Nile, the great captain, I believe, and then he's the one who takes them to the two rivers personally in order to lure Rand, because he hates Rand so much. In the show, Fain is just here. There's no build-up, there's no political scheming, he's a villain, but he's not yet the villain. Again, just making comparisons. In the books, Book Fain is a monster. He has been shaped by the Dark One. He was distilled, which is a word that they use, like the Dark One distilled his mind. And it's something I don't even understand, and yet the idea of it creeps me out. And that he merged kind of with Mashadar, with like, first of all, more death from Shadar Logoth, and then he went into the ways, and Machin Shin was like, nope. Like he's really, really creepy. And at a certain point, and it starts happening here in the Two Rivers, there's something about him that just being near him starts to corrupt you. He's a unique kind of evil in the books, and his hatred for Rand specifically is personal. He blames Rand for his suffering. He is a dark friend to his core, but he also kind of hates the Dark One because the Dark One did horrifying things to him. He's very, very unique. But in the show, he's just so far a dark friend. Like, he's a competent dark friend, but I don't know, like, I don't know what they're doing with him. This could still work. Like, the man oozes menace. He could absolutely pull off, like, the book Fane's descent into cosmic horror. But I don't know. I don't know that the show will have time to give Fane the arc that he kind of needs or deserves, I guess. Because book Fane's end was underwhelming. I even Brandon Sanderson, who finished the books, acknowledges this. The show could fix that, but they have to start committing to it right now. And I don't know if they will, because I don't know if they have time to do that with his character, because there's so many characters in the story, to be honest. But I kind of hope that they do. I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, time to connect some dots. The show here is heavily implying that Liandrin is the one who stilled or gentled Thom's nephew Owen. And that tracks, because book canon, I don't think we ever find out exactly who did it, but pretty sure Liandrin was part of the vileness, which, if you don't know, was that period of time before, well, I guess around New Spring, where the Black Aja and, some unwitting Reds went like full kill any male channeler mode, because they knew somehow, I guess maybe some dark prophecy, that the dragon had been reborn, but they didn't realize that he was a baby. They just knew that he was around. So they were just out there stilling or gentling male channelers out in the field, like extrajudicial justice. And it was known as the vileness because it's against the law to do that. So, yeah, it does make sense that it would be Leandrin. And that's what I think is happening here. Thom just casually dropping, I was in Morgase's court, and yes, book Thom, amazing. I don't know where they're going to go with this, but like book Thom literally killed Morgase's husband because he found out that he was going to kill Morgase. So he's the king killer. And then he kills another king in book 2 because that king orchestrated the death of his girlfriend. So yeah, I don't know where they're going to go with this, but he clearly knows Elayne. He recognizes her. I don't know if she will recognize him. Yeah, I really don't know how far back that will go. In the books, well, I will get into that in a minute. But there is something else about this that made me curious, because we've got Gabriel thrown into the mix. If, while they're interacting, Elayne mentions Gabriel, Ravin, Thom should immediately clock that something's off. Dude, wasn't at court 10 years ago because he was still locked in the seals. Of course, okay, it still could be that Thom wouldn't know, because Thom, we go with book canon, was Morgase's lover 15, 20 years ago. And Gabriel is saying that he's compelled everybody to believe, or compelled, I should say, everybody to believe that he's been around for 10 years. So he might just be post Thom. Maybe Thom wouldn't know. I don't know. But that's just something I thought of. She could mention it, he would know. But okay, I'll get to the thing that I was going to mention. In the books, please, show, please. I'm begging. I can't rub my hands together with my avatar, but please, let's just skip the Elayne sexually competes with her mom over Thom thing. It's creepy, it's weird, and it adds nothing, and I literally erase it from my brain when I'm reading the books because it's awful. Please don't do it. Elayne in the books just literally goes around being, I'm Elayne Trecan, daughter of Andor, to every stray farmer, dark friend, whatever she meets. I mean, she doesn't, but anytime where she's in trouble, she's like, I know how to fix this problem by telling them that I'm Elayne Trecan, daughter, heir of Andor, and she thinks that will solve everything. She's not doing that in the show, but this feels similar. She took off her veil. She shouldn't have. And someone recognizes her because, shocker, royals do have recognizable faces, even without Instagram. So, yeah, this tracks for me. I also just love that we immediately get Thom coming in to help, because, of course, he has paternal feelings for her. He was Morgase's lover when Elayne was a child. So we've got Thom immediately leaping in to defend her, lying about her being his apprentice, and it works. But the whole apprentice thing, I do have to say, it was great, and it led to something amazing, but it was also terrifying for me as a book fan, because good and bad. It is a clever nod to Dina. Thom's girlfriend, who was an apprentice, who died tragically, and it gives Thom a reason to be in this interaction here. So it's perfect. The bad, though, his apprentice was his girlfriend, and Elayne flirts with Thom in the book, and it's a Freudian nightmare. And it's just there were things going on in my brain when he said that, and I was like, yes, yeah, yes, like I couldn't figure out where to land because I don't. So far, zero hints of creepiness. So fingers crossed. Before we get to the song in this scene, I just want to scream about how delighted I am that the show is giving us actual singable songs, because music in the Wheel of Time, it's a part of the world. Book RJ loved his songs. Every tavern, every campfire, every royal court, we got reference to songs. We get titles of songs that recur. Dance with Jack of the Shadows, The Road to the Spear, Coming Home from Tarwin's Gap. We get lyrics to these songs sometimes, like We'll Drink the Wine Till the Cup is Dry. We get history. Matt will hear a tune and think, I recognize this tune, but it had different lyrics 300 years ago. That's world building. In the books, when you read these, I don't know about you, but for me, I read them as a poem when I was reading the books. And, Rosamund Pike actually sings them, which is fun, if you're looking for that, in the audiobooks. But it makes the world feel real. In RJ's books, taverns have songs, wars have ballads, history is passed down in verse and rhyme, and the show is doing it justice. Now let's talk about the most book-accurate moment in the episode, in the series, in the entire series so far. Elayne and Thom singing The Hills of Tanchico, a song that is absolutely about boobies. And to us book fans know, Robert Jordan would absolutely give this his stamp of approval. The man loved him some formidable bosom. If the Wheel of Time had a subtitle, it would be Formidable Bosoms, or a breastplate of epic proportions, or whatever. Okay. It's so good. I do want to just highlight something because it was such a cool thing. I went and double checked this because I was pretty sure the lyrics of the song. Okay, we got I'll tell you a tale of a lad 20, a terrible boy with coin aplenty, went looking for love and more's the pity. Now he's lost in the hills of Tanchico City. And then, okay, it's the second part. Sorry, I had to go run through the lyrics in my brain because I've listened to the song a fair bit. It says, now these hills will flatten a whole ship's crew. These hills will make a man out of you. The book connection. These hills will flatten a whole ship's crew, lifted straight from the books. In The Shadow Rising, which is the season that or the book that this season is largely based on, there is a scene where they are in the Panarch's palace, and Elayne overhears someone singing in a room, and there's a whole circumstance around it I won't get into now. But the lyrics that she hears people singing are, my breasts are round and my hips are too. I can flatten a whole ship's crew. So they took that line straight from the books and put it into the song. And it's not the only, there's another dirty song. I went looking to see which, if I could find any other dirty songs that he'd written, and he wrote one called A Lugard Girl. That one's from The Dragon Reborn. It's a Lugard girl. She came to town to see what she could see. With a wink of her eye and a smile on her lips, she snagged a boy or three. And then, later on in the song, it's and I'll wear no shift at all. And Perrin, turns all sorts of red because he can't handle them talking about not wearing underwear. Ooh, scandalous. But, okay, aside from just the amazingness of the lyrics and how it feels so true to the world, it works. We get Matt's reaction to watching these women openly serenading their hills of Tanchico. It's his oh, light, what am I witnessing face. It's perfect. It works because he's I'm a rake. I will flirt with anything that lives, but not here, not like that. That feels right. And then Elayne's journey here of just innocently singing a song that she's like, oh, it's a lovely ode to the beauty of Tanchico. And then her realization of what it is, she's like, this is a song about topography, if you catch my drift. And she decides to own it and just go, I can't shimmy because the thing doesn't track my shoulders. But it feels so accurate to who she is, because what it reminds me of in the books, she has this book habit of collecting curses, which, because she grew up in the palace, whenever she hears somebody use a curse word around her, they'll be watching her repeat it with her lips. So this just felt the same, where she's just oh, is this what the commoners do? Oh, okay, shimmy, shimmy. It works so well. Nynaeve is finally relaxing. She's laughing and drinking, maybe not even scowling for minutes, and then she spots this girl being led around by a man like a pet. And just like that, it's done. And I feel like this is so true to her character. She is congenitally incapable of apathy. She can't. Like, years ago, I read someone on Reddit describe her as, like, Nynaeve is the one who will give all the fucks. Always. She sees a child in distress and immediately cares. And she also connects it to Leandrin's backstory, the cruelty of Tanchico, where girls are used and discarded. Is this what made Leandrin who she is? This, to me, feels it's Nynaeve to her core. In the book, she would punch the Dark One rather than ignore injustice. Nynaeve and Min, they're deep in their cups, and they are loudly gossiping about Leandrin. I mean, not loudly, but loud enough. Like they're at some sort of slumber party, and it works. It works. Because they happen to be overheard by a dude who knew Leandrin's family, who hilariously thinks that Leandrin's ghost is haunting Tanchico, because, that happened like 95 years ago, so he wouldn't think that she'd be back. Anyway, whatever. The man is old, but he doesn't look that old. So, yes. And this, to me, feels like ta'veren, which I'm hoping that will, I don't know how show watchers will feel about it, because that was immediately how I read what was going on here. Like, yes, they happened to say the right thing around the right person, and they got the right thing. They got the right information. That's how ta'veren kind of works. Ridiculous coincidences that barely make any sense. Of course, it's not all smooth sailing, because while our drunk duo does stumble upon this, onto their lead, Ispan is lurking in the shadows. So Ispan, Black Aja, she's going to run to, we see, I don't think she runs to Moggy with the intel, but she does get the intel to Moggy. So the rules, I suppose, and much like the books, this is the truth, ta'veren luck giveth, and ta'veren luck taketh away, or ta'veren luck in this case gets you mind-controlled by a Forsaken. Leandrin playing with Naomi's memory racing weaves. I'm sorry, I'm not happy about her playing with the memory weave thing. It's just, again, the colors. I could see the air and the spirit there, and it's all, I'm about to ruin this woman's career, her life, I guess. She's bad at this. She should not be able to do this to people's brain, but it doesn't matter because she's about to kill Naomi anyway. But this combined with something that happens later makes me a little go, oh, okay, some confusion here, because there is an acknowledgement here of a disparity in skills with what people can do. Naomi knows how to do this. Leandrin's been experimenting with it. She doesn't quite know how to do it yet. Leandrin, before, pre-murder of Naomi here, drops the real bombshell. She wants to be a Forsaken. It's so interesting to me, because Book Leandrin is a mustache-twirling villain with zero depth. Does she survive the books? Maybe. I don't know. I don't care. Like, I don't follow her story in the book. Like, she shows up, I'm like, oh, here's that bitch. But that's it. Like, that's my reaction to her. I don't have a strong reaction to her. But show Leandrin is complex. She's ambitious. She's low-key relatable. And I am invested. Her desire to become a Forsaken, that is something that happens in the book. And this is not relevant to this episode at all, I suppose, but my hot take, I got a little personally indignant on behalf of Alviarin in the books, because I thought that she should have been given that elevation to Forsaken over time. Well, no, because Taim actually did this stuff too. But I just thought that Alviarin deserved it as well. Leandrin in the books, no. But here, I don't know if she deserves it yet, but I love her audacity. And I don't know, I'm kind of rooting for her to get it, to be honest. And then, yeah, she kills Naomi. I'm not showing the death here, but she kills Naomi here, and die traitor. Because, specifically because she's Black Aja, or Brown Aja. She's Brown Aja, and I take Brown Aja betrayals seriously. Oh, the other thing I'll note about this, she kills Naomi pretty much the exact same way that she killed the victims in the cold open, like with a single headshot. It's not like, it's much more controlled than in that scene, but she just does it that way. She also is like Ispan sees, and she doesn't really care that Ispan sees her. So I'm still going with my implication that Leandrin runs at least this Black Aja cell. Alana's on her deathbed, and Matt's sisters show up to thank her, Bode and other sister. Look, I love the coffins, but RJ gave them like 3 traits total. I don't remember their names, but I love Maxim's snark here. You love being thanked. It's perfect. It's like it's such a Warder thing to say because he knows her and he knows Alana's personality. He knows her ego needs the boost in this time. And I still keep thinking I don't want it to happen, but I know where Alana's story goes, and so I'm worried still that Maxim might die because we need to basically push Alana into doing the thing, like basically the thing that makes show watchers will be shocked by this, but in the books you don't care about Alana until she suddenly does something horrible and you're like, "Wah!" It's like you do see when you reread you can sort of see her building towards it, but she's background noise until she does the thing where they've basically brought her to the front. And so I see them pointing towards it, but I could see Maxim's death also pointing towards that. Okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier with Naomi and Leandrin not quite knowing how to use that weave. Alana here is walking Bode and other sister basically through a channeling lesson, and then they heal her somehow. Now, healing is kind of a high level weave. You don't just like knit bone to bone on your first try. Well, okay, but Nynaeve does it, and we saw her do it in season 1, and that's true in the books. Nynaeve heals instinctively, but the fact that she is walking them through and then she doesn't just walk them through how to open up to the bud and whatever, which is word for word from the book, but then she walks them through the healing weave. That's not instinct. They're not healing on instinct if they're following her instructions. So it's just very complex stuff to be doing this early in their channeling journey. Now, I think I might have said this in my reaction, I don't know, but the show has laid a little bit of groundwork for this because we actually saw Alana as a teacher last season, and she was a pretty good teacher. The only one she couldn't teach was Nynaeve, but the rest of them all seem to be able to do it. It's just, healing is precision work, and this feels a little bit too easy. Now, in the books, specifically channeling of all of there's a couple of magic system things going on in the books. Channeling is probably the hardest. You have to learn X before you do Y. The show could be making it softer. It's a problem for me that I recognize is a problem because I can't take the book goggles off. They are just part of my eyes now. So I have to figure out where the line is of the magic system because it's somewhere, and understandably, somewhere in between the Wheel of Time level of hard rigor, hard magic, and then the Lord of the Rings soft magic vibes. It's somewhere in between there, and I just can't seem to place it. And so that's things like this just make me go, not in a show ruining way, but it's just, I get distracted by it. And I know it's a me thing. I know it's not a show thing. I know that's a me thing. Let's talk about this scene. Because it's clearly the show's attempt to recreate one of my favorite Faile book moments. And, okay, the book scene, I think it happens in Ilion. It's got Faile, Moraine, and Lan, and Perrin present. And Perrin, mid-argument with Moraine, blurts out something to the effect of, "Matt blew the bloody horn of Valir." And Faile's reaction, she's in the background, she's not part of the argument, is "You found it already?" And it's gold. Her entire purpose for being here, finding the horn, just got obliterated by casual conversation. I mean, it was an argument, not casual conversation, but whatever. It is comedy. In the show, we've got no Moraine, no Lan, no accidental reveal. Perrin chooses to tell Faile. And Faile's hunt for the horn hasn't quite been established enough for this to hit in the same way. The save, though, I will say, the actress, whose name I forget, it's Isabella something, whatever, she kills it. It's been found, your friend with the horn of Valir, and he's blowing the horn of Valir, there's this panic there. It works. It works. The one line I will say that doesn't work for me is that you let me go on and on about that light blasted horn. The reason that doesn't work is when? We haven't seen that. I am guessing, based on this scene and other things that happen in this episode, that there are cut scenes because it feels like there are things that feel missing. I'm going to say my verdict for how successful this scene was at recreating one of my favorite Faile moments in the books, I'm going to give it like a 60 to 70%, which I'm going to say, given the missing pieces, I find that impressive. Like, it sounds like I'm being negative, but I'm not. I didn't think we'd get this moment, and when we got it, I was like, okay, it can't be what it is in the books, but I'm going to give it a pass. I think it works. Like, it's not as funny, but it can't be as funny. And so I think the level of funny that it is actually funnier than I would have expected. Okay, so Alanna walks in on Faile straddling Perrin here, and it instantly reminded me of another moment from the books. As in the books, correct me if I'm wrong, things get melded in my brain, but I believe, okay, Perrin is injured in the Wine Spring Inn, and he tries to get up and leave the room, but Faile basically is stopping him because he's very, very injured and he needs to rest, and they end up tumbling down the stairs, and she's on top of him, not for any sexy shenanigans, but just because they fell down the stairs. And then I believe Mistress Alvir walks in on Faile on top of him, while she's scolding him. There's no kissy stuff happening, and she is mortified. The show twist, though, I think that's what this is. Like, they were actually doing sexy shenanigans, and yes, it's the same energy, but it's more romantic tension, and Alanna's face is priceless. Min and Nynaeve spot a sparkler pinwheel. Confirmed, illuminators are in Tanchico. Last episode, people pointed out to me that there were fireworks when we got like an overlook at the city, or one firework. Anyway, but we're getting a vendor here selling sparklers. We got it. I'm pretty sure I called this from some of the stills that we were going to see illuminators in Tanchico. I don't know. Like, we got 2 more episodes. What will they do? Will Elayne be here? Will Matt get any? Matt, Thom, Elayne, they're still singing the Hills of Tanchico. And look, I get it. It's a bop. But surely they know another song. But the dilemma, I get it. Because if the show had, like, we'd walked in on them singing another song, we'd only get 2 lines of it, and I would have been really mad that we didn't get more of the song. But, it's just funny. Have they been singing this boob song for, like, hours? I don't know. I love the boob anthem. I do, but let's rotate the playlist a bit. I want more songs. Give me more songs. Matt's luck strikes again. He literally flirted his way into finding the exact bracelet he needed. He just found the exact right hottie who would have what he needed. I'm going to call it luck. But he is also ta'veren. I don't know. Like, ta'veren, the pattern bends around him, making impossible conveniences happen, or his luck, his own superpower. You know what? No, I'm going to call this ta'veren, because I do think at some point he might come in. I called this, like, earlier on when we saw that dice Terangrial. I could see him interacting with that, which gives him his luck power. So Ispan is here waiting in Tel'aran'rhiod for Ravin, or Samael, but probably Ravin, honestly, just because Ravin more competent. We've got a little bit of Black Aja chaos going on here. Leandrin is Team Lanfear, although I think Team Ishy, really. And Ispan and I guess Naomi are Team Ravin? I'm going to bring in something else from the books, too. In the books, they stole several things that they were told to steal from the tower, and among them were lots and lots of dream Terangrial. But they don't know how Tel'aran'rhiod works at all, really. And so Moggy's line here of, you don't know how dangerous this is, that is spot on. But, okay, we do have different Forsaken factions, and they move. I think I even said this in a previous video. I stopped tracking them after a while, just because they're constantly switching alliances and whatnot. So it's unstable. I'm wondering how show viewers are feeling about this, because it's not actually. Ispan doesn't say who she's here waiting for, so we don't ever really find out. And I know, like, one of the parents of one of the children I teach at the center I work at is watching the show, and she was trying to get me to explain to her, like, she's like, I don't know who's shady and who's not, and who's working with who and who's not. And I was like, I don't know either. Like, A, because the show has changed some things from the book, but B, because sometimes they're constantly changing alliances. And I kind of stopped paying attention to it in the books because I'm mostly focusing on our protagonists. But I know, like, this parent is trying very hard to follow it. And it might be making people feel lost. I don't know. Moggy takes face touching to a new I have an issue with the way the Forsaken just keep touching people's faces, and this was new. I literally had to look away when I was watching it for my reaction. I didn't see what happened, and then I watched it again, like as I always do. I think I've told you before, like I watch it once, do a reaction, then watch it once again just to relax and enjoy the show, and then I watch it the third time. The second time I watched it, I didn't watch this scene either. I closed my eyes then, and then I was taking notes. I was like, oh, probably should watch what she did. And, she like just put her thumbs like through her face. Ew. Moghedien's arrival at Elayne and Nynaeve's room here is a perfect all is lost moment for the Tanchico storyline. Because, of course, episode 6, an 8-episode season, is generally known, in narrative structure, to be the all is lost episode. It's to crush our hero's spirits before the rebound. And she literally crushes them with a dose of compulsion. In the books, this is different in that this confrontation, I believe, happens in a tavern, not in their room. And she doesn't get Moggy doesn't get the information from one of the Black Azure sisters. She senses them channeling. Elayne and Nynaeve, I can't remember which one of them channels out in the streets, and she feels them channeling from a distance because, in the books, you can sense channeling. You don't need line of sight. So, yes. And in the books, Moghedien doesn't get anything off of them because she uses the wrong words. She asks them if they have any Terangriel up in their rooms, and they don't. They don't have them up in their rooms because they have them in their pockets. And so while under compulsion, they couldn't lie or they tell her. They had to answer the questions that she asked them. And the question was, do you have any Terangriel up in your rooms? And the answer was no. So she leaves with nothing. This is also straight from the books. Nynaeve, under compulsion, is completely vulnerable. Completely vulnerable. She is honest about what her block is, that she's terrified of it. It's too much. And I think she said, I think I hate it. In the books, I don't think she says the hate it line, but it makes perfect sense to me, especially in the show, because in the show, the last time she channeled, somebody died. Somebody else got captured. Of course she's afraid. And then Moghedien says, in my time, we would have beaten that block out of you. It's just a throwaway line, but there was some shady stuff, shady shit going on in the Age of Legends. It was not the utopia that people often talk about it as. The other thing I'm just going to say, this, I've said it before, but this interpretation of Moghedien is so different from the way that I have read her for years. Book Moggy is very reserved and clinical. She's risk averse, but show Moggy feels unstable. Her voice is lilting, like she's on the edge of laughing or screaming. It's terrifying, and I am obsessed. The eagerness in Elayne and Nynaeve's voices as they answer Moggy, it makes this scene like skin crawling. They are desperate to please her, tripping over themselves to answer faster, like children, like as a teacher, like their children, like throwing their hands up in the air, vying for their teacher's approval. And this is lifted straight from the books, whichever one of them, their POV that we're in, I can't remember if we're in Elayne or Nynaeve's, but their internal monologue notes how urgently they want to obey. And the show nails this with their wide-eyed, like almost simpering expressions. The Lion, the Witch, and the audacity of this Forsaken. Moggy, the look that she gives Elayne, like, ugh, why are you like this? After she's the one who turned her into this simpering, eager-to-please puppet, it's the gall, the unmitigated gall. I feel indignant on Elaine's behalf. You did this to her, lady. It's like a cat knocking a vase off the table and then glaring at it for breaking. Nynaeve won't let go of the bracelet. She's fighting the compulsion, even when Moggy orders her to. This is why we stand. In the books, this happens, but Nynaeve does fight compulsion, and it's like a weird thing with her braid, where whenever she thinks about like anything related to Moghedien, she starts tugging on her braid, and then, she basically breaks it in the Panarch's palace. I'm trying to think, because it's her and Morghese, I believe, are the two who fight compulsion in this way. But yes, it's amazing, because fighting compulsion is not just about strength in the one power. In fact, as it's not about strength in the one power. Morghese basically has none. But it's about strength of will. Nynaeve's stubbornness is literally magic resistance. And I just have to say, look at that expression on her face. You can see it. Like, you can see it in there. Like, there's this compliance and, like I said, adoration and simpering. But there's also, behind her eyes, something screaming and fighting to stop. It's so good. It's so good. And, of course, the hype. Like, Nynaeve stands, we know it's coming, right? It's got to be coming. It's got to be coming. About 2 more episodes. It's got to be coming. And Moghedien's shocked Pikachu face when Nynaeve fights back. It's delicious because, again, book fans know these two, they are foils for each other. For the rest of the series, they are nemesis. That's the spider versus the honey badger who doesn't give a fuck. Or she gives all the fucks. I don't know. But earlier, Moghedien hugged Nynaeve like, oh, you're strong into power. How cute. But you're also blocked. How cute. And now she is realizing that Nynaeve's strength isn't just channeling. It's defiance. This is the moment where Moggy starts to see her future arch nemesis, and it is so good. Nynaeve is not just a threat, she's the threat. Raven wants Elayne dead, with direct eye contact to Elayne, which is kind of chilling. And then she's all like, I sent the Grey Men to kill you, but oops, they failed. All right, this tracks with the books because Raven does target Elayne, but of course we've got a show twist. We've thrown Moggy into that mix, and of course Moggy making the Grey Men and being the one to send them, you know, that is new for the show. But, and then, of course, then we have the into this added in because it is new for the show. The fact that Moggy is okay with her Grey Men failing because she kind of like screwing over Raven. It works. I don't think this would work in the books. Like, even if we had them working together in this way, I don't think it would work in the books because of the way Moghedien is in the books, but it works in the show because of the way, I believe, that Laia Costa, well, the way Moggy is written, but also the way Laia Costa here is playing her, like a woman who is 10% logic and 90% chaotic spite. Like, could she just kill them now? Sure, but that's not as fun for her. She'd rather toy with them and poke Raven's ego and bounce like, oh, you've been useful, bye. It's unhinged, it's petty, and it's very show Moggy. It works. All right, gonna get real here. The Moghedien confrontation, like everything that just happened prior to this moment, perfect, flawless, immaculate. This scene where Nynaeve and Elayne piece together, oh, weird, we don't remember stuff. It drags to me. The thing is, like, I feel like the show doesn't trust us. It assumes we need them to verbally reconstruct that they've been compelled, but we saw it happen. We're not, like, novices. We can put, Moggy was here, compulsion, memory gap, oh, light, the bracelet's gone. Like, we can do it without the flow chart. The way I personally, and again, grains of salt, I am not a writer, but the way I would have fixed it would have been to make Moggy make them sit back down on the bed before leaving so they don't awkwardly notice that they've been teleported across the room. And then let the horror dawn slowly. Like, maybe they just turn to each other and Elayne notices the blood on her face or something. Like, we don't need this clunky dialogue. I don't know. We do need them to realize that the bracelet is missing, but I could see that maybe coming after the blood on the face. Anyway, this is like, it's 20 seconds, but it's 20 seconds that to me felt like, hey, you know, the show yelling, did you get it? She mind controlled them. And I was like, yes, we got it. We're smart. So the breakup scene. Egwene comes in and she's a forsaken Rand. And Rand's just like, okay, like, no, how do you know? No, wait, you've been dreamwalking? Just immediate acceptance that Egwene knows. And look, I get it. As viewers, we already know that Egwene's been spying on Rand's dreams. I was going to put another word in there, but no, she's been spying on his dreams. And we know that she's been getting tortured by Lanfear. Explaining it all again would feel like a PowerPoint recap, which is kind of weird because that last scene kind of felt like that to me. But the whiplash I'm feeling here, and I don't know if I noticed this the first time, but I definitely noticed it on rewatch here. Rand has no reason to trust Egwene's intel here. Like, in the books, and apparently in the show too, dreamwalking is rare. So it'd be like your friend texting you, by the way, your girlfriend is Satan, with no context. So the show is stuck. Like, I don't actually even know how to fix this because the show is stuck between, we don't need to do info dumps of stuff you already know, and This makes no sense for Rand to understand how she knows here. I will say that another thing that happened to me when I was watching this scene was Egwene's whole, why did I even come here? It shocked me because it's a problem. My brain, because of the book knowledge I have, sometimes blinds me to things in the show. In the books, she didn't go to the waste for Rand. She went to the waste to learn how to do dream walking and all of that stuff. It's a power-up arc. But in the show, she came specifically for Rand to protect him. And she is realizing that he has been nightly dream dating a Forsaken. And her coming here, instead of staying in the tower and getting training, kind of pointless. Like, they came here to escape the Forsaken. She came here to protect him. And he's been meeting with the Forsaken all night. This is kind of a next level betrayal. It's not just like you kiss someone else. It's, hey, I uprooted my life for you, and you've been doing like Romeo Juliet with Satan's minion here. And Rand is right, granted that she doesn't understand the full context, like Lanfear tricked him and all of this stuff, but her anger is valid. And I'm really curious to see non-reader reactions, because as a book fan, I know that Rand and Egwene, they are not in any way endgame. So I was just, oh yeah, drama. But show fans, they might be invested in their relationship, and so this might hurt people. I'm very curious to see how this is reacted to. So Egwene here asks Rand if he loves Lanfear, and when he basically says yes, she's like, okay, so it started then, the madness. And it struck me as kind of funny because, yeah, she would think that's mad. He loves literally one of Satan's minions. That sounds insane. Because she did not watch season 2. She did not watch Lanfear strut through the show and seduce the entire fandom with one raised eyebrow. Of course she thinks this is insane. To Egwene, she's just Forsaken number 3, Torture Edition. But, of course, Rand isn't mad yet. He's trapped. Lanfear kind of gets him. Gets the weight of his destiny, and yes, I believe she is definitely manipulating him. Egwene's not wrong. She's just missing all the context. This breakup here, the thing that he says, you don't want me, this has been true since season 1. Egwene doesn't love him in the way that he loves her. Or she doesn't want him in the way that he wants her. They don't want the same things, that's for sure. She came to the waste to protect him and whatever, but I don't think she came here for love for him. And I mean, he just kind of let her come. He was rather passive in that, and which is true actually in the books. He's very passive in his relationships with women, but she's got bigger dreams, literally. Bigger dreams. Sorry, yes. And the tower and the one power and her own destiny. And Rand knows this, and he's resigned to it. But he does kind of throw it in her face, which it kind of comes across kind of dickish, because he also knows, although he doesn't know that it's Lanfear, but he knows that she's being tortured in her dreams. And so what she's learning here, I mean, I don't know how much she's told him, although she must have told him that she's training. So he would, I don't think he's an idiot. He could put it together that she's learning things to try and protect herself from what is stalking her every night. But anyway, whatever. This breakup, though, they understand each other, and he's like, yeah, I'm the dragon reborn, and I am not enough for you. And that's true, because I mean, that's Lanfear loves him, but she also loves the power that is in him. Whereas the power, the dragon reborn, is not what Egwene sees when she looks at him. She sees Rand. Okay, so the Lanfear torturing Egwene in her dreams, that is a show-only invention. I think it works because it gives Egwene personal stakes, beyond just Lanfear evil, whatever. It definitely gives them a personal stake there. And it also creates this, for me specifically, it creates a part of a dilemma with me, where the responsible adult, grown-up, logical part of me is screaming, Rand! She's literally torturing your ex. Wake up! Go! Stop it! Whereas the other part of me, the show trash gremlin in me, is like, but it's Lanfear. She's so hot though, and their toxic romances, so they should smooch and whatever. What have you done to me, show? Book Lanfear was just a petty ex with god complexes. Show Lanfear, she is mesmerizing. She is a manipulative force of nature. And Natasha O'Keeffe, she could... I am just going to let that sentence fragment dangle in the air, and you can finish it as you will. She's doing such good things with the writing and the way she's acting. It's so good. Lanfear is so good in the show. Avienda with her fire spears. Cool. In the books, I think she actually grabs spears to fight the Trollocs and gets scolded by the Wise Ones, which is classic Avi. But here she's channeling, like, literally flaming javelins. And it's pretty cool. I think these are Darkfriend Aiel in the books. I think it's a Trolloc attack that Samael sends, and I don't think Samael comes himself in the books. I can't see. This will be a late book call out, but because, they're all veiled, I can't see if these Aiel have pointy teeth or if they're just Darkfriends. I don't know. And like I said, I think they're just Aiel. They're not Trollocs. Like in the books, this is probably just a budget thing because Trolloc suits are expensive, and we've got a massive Two Rivers battle coming up, so, save the Trollocs for them. Rand's out here fondling the taint. just like holding it as it goes through his hand. Put it down! I get it. You're the Dragon Reborn, but must you literally rub madness in your palms like it's hand sanitizer? The way it just goes through his fingers, though, it's visually stunning. But also stop! Stop! But okay. We know Moraine did not participate in this because, of course, her and Lanfear had this whole let Rand handle it plan off screen. Well, they had it on screen, but yeah, and Rand needs to embrace his destiny. Let's throw a Forsaken at him. That was Lanfear's plan, I'm assuming. It's cold. As for Samael, did he die here? If he does, I will laugh because, again, book fan, this man, Samael, the lightning strikes there, he dies by getting yoinked by Mashadar off screen. Like, it's so funny. He breaks all the rules of television and movies where if you don't see a body, you're probably fine. Where he dies off screen and then he's dead forever. Even the Dark One was like, yeah, no, he's dead. I don't care about him. And he doesn't bring him back. So Samael is just gone. I don't know. He might have gatewayed out, like, in there. I don't know. Like, he's a little extra. He might not want to die without a monologue to his glorious purpose. Or he could have died here, which would be hilarious to me. I did see some talk about people thinking that maybe he's incapacitated here, and maybe he's going to be, like, instead of Asmodean, it'll be Samael. I can see that. I don't know. Samael's not interesting to me. Asmodean's more interesting. But, it could work, I suppose. And fuck. That sweet little girl that we've been saying, she's dead. And the extra knife twist that I'm going to say, if I'm right, it was Rand's lightning bolts that collapsed the house. I don't think it was Samael with his, like, magic mace, which looked like, what's-his-face's mace from Arcane. That's what that looked like to me. But, yeah. Anyway, back to, I don't want to talk about this, but this doomed little girl. Our guy, Rand, didn't just fail to save her. If I'm right that it was him, he actually caused her death. That's the real horror here. Like, it's not just the death, but it would be Rand realizing that he was so drunk on the power that he kind of killed a child without noticing. This is like Greek tragedy level of tragedy. This is the moment I was dreading ever since this little girl had a line and it was cute. And I'm very glad that they didn't go full book mode here, because in the books, Rand finds this little girl's body and then using Kalendor basically makes her body function. But of course she's dead, so she's like just jerking around like a zombie. He's puppeting her body with the one power, and it is very disturbing. It is like full horror movie disturbing. But instead, we get this quiet devastation. Well, not quiet, he's yelling, this raw, desperate, I'm the Dragon Reborn, I can do anything, as he clutches her corpse. It's not madness, not yet, although there might be some madness mixed in. This is just grief turned inside out. And we're starting to see the crack in him start to spread. Like, it's not from the taint, again, not yet, not from Lews Therin, not yet, but it's this unbearable weight of failing when he has access to the power that literally turns the Wheel of Time, and yet he failed. We go from that scene to this. We just get these overhead shots of the two rivers, and we needed this after that gut punch of a scene. No one wants to go straight from Rand sobbing over a dead child to Faile hiking with her Aiel fan club. But here's the thing. It still feels to me like, even with this, that we're missing a scene or 3. Like, these transitions, they feel like we're patching something. It's technically functional, but I can see the seams. I feel like the show is trying to stitch together Rand's breakdown, and then Trollocs invading the two rivers, and Faile and Bane and Chiad's sudden field trip to the Waygate, but it's giving like Wikipedia plot summary instead of organic storytelling. Like, why? Like, why are Bane and Chiad with Faile? Why are they at the Waygate? Why are they looking for Trollocs? In the books, Perrin finds out about the Trollocs coming through the Waygate by going into the Wolf Dream, but the show hasn't given us the Wolf Dream yet. Like, we saw Perrin's dream, but I'm pretty sure that was Perrin's dream. I don't think it was the Wolf Dream, because if it was the Wolf Dream, he would have seen Egwene, right? So, the Wolf Dream and Tel'aran'rhiod are the same thing. So, I don't know. But we get Faile, Bane, and Chiad basically stumbling upon Trollocs pouring out of the Waygate, and it should be terrifying, right? And that's what they're going for, but I was just sitting there going, why are we here? Why were you just like on a hike? What is going on? And I don't know. I'm convinced that scenes must have been cut. Like, maybe something that explains why Bane and Chiad are with Faile. I know why they're doing it. Like, I know why they want it done, because Bane and Chiad literally in the books come to the two rivers because of Faile, right? So, yeah, but I don't know. Something feels like it's very, very missing here. Like, it feels like somebody hit shuffle on the script. I don't know. What do you think about this? All right, let's wrap this up, because this episode gave me so much to love. The Tanchico scenes, absolute gold, minus the 20 seconds of post-boggy compulsion thing. The Hills of Tanchico song is going to be stuck in my head forever, though I must resist the compulsion to rub my boobs in public. But yes, Perrin and Faile, chef's kiss. Rand's descent into grief, it was heartbreaking. And Lanfear being the most charismatic villainess alive. Natasha O'Keeffe, take a bow. And Leandrin, making me root for her to get a Darkfriend promotion again. Kate Fleetwood, take a bow. But I've got some questions, like, who's allied with who with the Black Aja and the Forsaken? Is she still alive? I don't know. Do I need to care? Pretty sure I need to care about Ishy, right? And then the ending. The ending with Faile, Bane, and Chiad's random Waygate field trip with zero explanation. It's like the show is going, Trollocs attack, just go with it. And it's leaving me like squinting at the screen, just going, why? Oh, and Samael's attack. It led to something heartbreaking, but the attack itself was underwhelming. Like, it was cool lightning, which incidentally, that did strike me as funny, because I'm pretty sure Rand and Samael fight each other with lightning, but from much farther away. But whatever. Like, what was he doing? Like, was his entire motivation just, Lanfear told me to? Like, sir, you're Forsaken. You're not a middle manager. Take some ownership of your life. But okay, all of that aside, this episode is fantastic. It's just got a few choices, maybe a few cutscenes holding it back from perfection. But hey, if the worst thing I can say is I wanted more, I want those missing scenes, that's a good sign. So yeah, excuse me while I go listen to the Hills of Tanchico on a loop and resist the urge to rub my boobs in public. So yes, but before I go, I just want to say thank you to my patrons. You all literally keep the lights on, so thank you so much. And if you like my content and you want to support me, you can always join my Patreon, which is linked in the description below. And yeah, with that, I am going to end this here. So please like, subscribe, and I will see you for the next one. Bye.